Welcome to the Top Gun Show. I'm excited to start a new season of the Top Gun Show. In addition to highlighting carriers and providers of technology, I've been looking to find truly innovative leaders that are using technology to give themselves a competitive advantage. I'm starting with Jesse and one of our good friends, Tim Bucher, who owns Trattore Winery and Farms here in Sonoma County, because his background is so deep in technology. He's got like 40 patents in technology. He graduated, got his master's degree from Stanford. He's worked alongside of Bill Gates and Jobs and Michael Dell and those kind of thought leaders, giving them advice and product advice and stuff. So I just thought I'd start with the best. So Tim, welcome to the Top Gun Show.
Thanks, great.
Pleasure to have you on. So because you're my first guest utilizing technology, I'd like you to talk about the ways that you're utilizing technology to give you a competitive advantage in the wine and farm industry.
Okay. Well, so first of all, it's embarrassing when somebody talks about you, like that intro and everything, but
yeah.
Thank you for that.
I had to really dumb it down. I mean, there's so much to talk about.
So, when it comes to using technology at Trattore Farms, I feel one of the most important things when it's, when you talk about emerging technologies is, I don't like to call it IoT, I like to call it the Internet of Everything. And it really translates to data, because in the farming business, there are now opportunities to have so much more data than ever in history because of IoT, or the Internet of Everything. And so here at Trattore Farms, I have sensors, I have field sensors, I have cameras, I use drones. I can control things from anywhere in the world, from everything from my, my wastewater recycling systems to the fermentation of wines and everything in between. I could even control these lights in this room, from my smartphone. So what's really important, and what I've embraced tremendously over the last few years in particular, is all these new kinds of devices that can connect to the internet. First of all, I had to make sure that the whole ranch has internet access.
That's right, you laid your own fiber, didn't you?
Oh, we have fiber here, we have Cat 6, we have, wireless ubiquity networks all over the place here. But it's a matter of capturing the data in the fields. We do soil moisture, leaf wetness, obviously the rain and, the temperatures and all of that. But it's about using that data to then be more predictive about your crops, whether it's your olives or your grapes, or be able to make a higher quality wine. Like, we have computers that will actually monitor and control the temperature of the fermentation in our tanks, so that we don't let the fermentations go really fast.
Right.
We essentially make them nice and linear and convert a small percentage of sugar to alcohol each day, which makes that wine, I think much higher quality. So, but it's around that. It's about IoT and data.
Yeah. Well, I can attest. Jesse and I are members, as you know, of your winery here,
and I love you for that.
And it's because you make the perfect wine. You use technology to make the perfect wine. So I will attest to that. I will.
So we have a lot of technology in the fields, and then we have a lot of technology in the cellar. And I think it really takes both if you're looking at it from, how to embrace emerging technologies to, it's funny you say a competitive edge, because that is somewhat true in this industry, but we're also in an industry that's a little more friendly than others. So all the things that I've designed, all the software I've written, all the, I've got this fancy sled for doing punch downs and whatnot. I basically give that to everyone who wants it. So, so it's a different kind of edge that I want. I want it for creating a great product for you and Jesse. And
that's what you think about, huh? What would Steve and Jesse like?
Exactly. The only thing I think about. But that's kind of the cool thing about the farming industry, is that it is much more about helping everyone, because we all need help in farming.
Which brings me to the next question. You're so innovative. I mean, you have been your whole entire career. most people, the common folk like me, like we read in magazines.
You're not common.
Well, thank you. I think what other people are doing, we find out. You're so on the cutting edge. What do you read? How do you find out what the emerging technologies are going to be that are going to affect the industry for the next 5 years, type of a thing?
That's a really good question, because it's sometimes hard to find out like what's really coming and what's applicable to you. I'll tell you where I probably get most of my information. I spend a lot of time in Silicon Valley, and I read things online. Everybody does, and whatnot. But I probably get most of my information from colleagues that I interact with, especially in Silicon Valley, which is kind of a crazy area where everyone's trying the latest and greatest, and then you see them with it, and you're like, oh, what is that? And you have a discussion about it, and then you talk about the future possibilities of it. So it's really about an environment where there's a lot of creative people, more creative than me, where
possible.
I actually get probably most of my information.
Yeah.
For the farming applications in particular, I kind of take things that I see in other industries, and then I say, hey, could that be translated to this industry?
Right.
Like we have, we use drones here quite a bit to look at the vineyards and the orchards, and that's something that has been happening in other industries, and now farming over the last few years tremendously for getting more data about your crops. But it's not just the photographs; it's using computer vision to then
Using the data.
Using the data,
Yeah.
Taking that imagery, and I use different services that will actually do analysis on those images and videos and actually tell me where there are diseases or how many vines I have or have lost or whatever the case may be.
That's crazy. Well, we always end the show with something personal or a little bit of twist about you, and I happen to know that you like tractors. You collect tractors with your name on them. Jesse and I go down to Barrett-Jackson, see my son and my daughter-in-law every year, and we go to the car show, and I send him pictures. I find the most expensive tractor I can find, and I take a snapshot and say, I'm going to buy this for you, and he always writes back, I already have that one. So tell I don't know if you know this, by the way, we have millions and millions of viewers watching this.
Millions?
Millions.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you were already famous, but your phone's going to be ringing. Tell the viewers a little bit about your fascination with the tractors.
Well, I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Sonoma County, which is close by to where we are right now. And, when I was a little kid, I loved working on machines. And so I loved, some people would call me a grease monkey and whatnot back then, which was only a few years ago, mind you, when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But I really fell in love with the mechanical wonder of tractors in particular, because they weren't just an engine and gears and wheels and whatnot, but they could do some amazing tasks that really aided farming in particular. So I would always work on the tractors and fix them, and then later when I got my own ranch, the very first thing I did was of course get a tractor. And then I said, hey, some guys collect cars. I'd like to collect tractors. So I started to get tractors from all over the world and restore them. And our tasting room here is not just a tasting room; it's also a mini tractor showroom.
Showcase, for sure.
But one of the main tractor that I did bring over from Switzerland actually is called a Bucher tractor. They don't make them anymore, and I think I'm the only one in the United States with one of those. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching the Top Gun Show, and Tim, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Thank you.